All right, so let's see how we're going to use the Elysia 500 series in the mix for the drums and also for a couple of creative applications. So we're going to quickly go over how it works in the mix, and then we're going to zoom into a couple areas of the track where we're going to use it to enhance this drum loop it's a 4-bar loop I wrote on the machine drum. We're going to dial it in a bit. So here we go. The EQ is used to we use the high filter when the low cut is engaged to cut the lows, boost a little around 90, boost a bit with the shelf, and then just enhance the kick, low mids, and kind of bring up that percussive sound. The envelope we're using to dry this whole thing out, so we're reducing the sustain across the entire frequency range. And we're reducing the attack of everything above about 400 or 500 hertz here. The character we're using to get some grit, so this is a great unit to go completely over the top with. But we just want a little bit of grit here from the fetch shred, a darker sound or more bass heavy sound, and then we just dial it back to about 30% with the mix control. And that gives us just a little bit of edge around the beat without overwhelming it and turning it into a fuzzy mess, which is what some tracks need, but not this particular one. Finally, the expressor we're using with the auto fast and the warm, so we can have a slow attack for things that are not transients and kind of medium release. We have the gain reduction limiter in, so we're not just completely squashing the beat. If we had like this, we'd lose all that punch. This way we kind of keep that bounce without completely crushing it. All right, let's get into the creative side of things now that we got a nice sounding beat. All right, let's get on to the creative stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the X filter on a couple sections of drums in here, and we're gonna use it with a high cut engaged so that instead of a high shelf filter, we now have a resonant low pass filter there. And we're gonna play it as if we were twiddling away on a synthesizer. And we're also gonna use the character in kind of a similar way where we're gonna kind of fiddle around with the drive and the color. So we're just gonna let it run and we'll get some takes that we can use in the track. The trick here is to get enough that we'll be able to go through and slice it up and then use the parts that we want to change the intro and the bridge of the song. So now that we've done that, we can find the bits we like, cut them up, and use them. Now we can do a comparison of the drums that we processed through the mix techniques and the creative techniques with the Elysia 500 series with the original. These are peak matched. The pink here is the original, and the violet and later the green are the processed drums. So this is the original and the processed. Filtering gives that cymbal
some nice movement. It makes it stand out. And here's the character coming in. So that was the intro, and now we're on to the beat that's used for the verse. Elysia and the original. The Elysia's just got more presence and a little more punch, maybe a little more sparkle in that top end. Just fits really nicely.